recycling improper items in Regina. Reaction from frontline workers on the province's healthcare plan. And addressing damage to farmland by elk.
Live from our studios in Regina, this is CTV News.
Good evening. Regina residents have already seen a 10.9% increase to the mill rate. Now the city says a waste fee hike could be on the horizon if people continue to put unauthorized items into their recycling blue bin. Jacob Carr tells us just how bad the problem is.
According to the city of Regina, the amount of contaminants finding their way into the city's recycling is triple the 6% threshold rate set by Sask Recycles for Regina's curbside recycling program. The city says if the high contamination rates continue, Sask Recycles would be able to levy fines on the community, directly affecting waste fees.
We try to take an education first approach, and so we do that through multiple streams. We have mailed out new waste sorting guides to every household. We're often at events in the community handing out magnets and other educational materials.
Sask Recycles says contaminants in blue carts can cause havoc once they make it to the Crown and Shred Recycling Center, including tangling up in machinery, slowing operations, and can result in entire bales of recycling being discarded.
We need that level of 6% in order to keep things running as smoothly as possible. So when we have low contamination, we can have higher quality bales of recycling, which means that those bales are appealing to the end markets.
McKee says Sask Recycles tries to keep those end markets as local and provincial as possible, like with glass being sent to Moose Jaw and made into reflective road markings, or scrap metal being sent to plants in Regina and Saskatoon. But none of it happens as efficiently if contamination rates don't start trending downward.
When residents are thinking about what's best to do and thinking maybe about their own pocketbook, we just encourage them to try and divert as much from the landfill to keep our waste fees low, and then when putting material into the blue cart or the recycling cart, to ensure that it is, sorted properly. So
next time you're filling your blue curbside bin, double check to make sure it's the right stuff. The city has a full list of what you can and can't put in a blue bin on its website. Jacob Carr, CTV News, Regina.
The NDP opposition wants the provincial government to lay down the law on non-Canadian residents owning farmland in Saskatchewan. But the government feels the penalties, which do exist, have already proven to be a good enough deterrent. Donovan Mace has more.
The prospect of foreign entities owning land in Saskatchewan has the NDP opposition wishing the government would crack down harder.
Go back and investigate and review transactions of concern and ensure compliance. And they failed to make sure the Farmland Security Board has the resources and the teeth they need.
The Saskatchewan Farmland Security Board oversees transactions ensuring owners are Canadian residents. Last year, 8 complaints of possible foreign land ownership in Saskatchewan were investigated by the board, with 3 issued penalties and 4 ordered to reduce operations. But the opposition believes there could be more, not yet reported.
The scope and scale of how much land is owned in breach of our law or illegally by foreign owners is not clear.
The NDP would like to see significantly higher fines of up to $1 million for individuals and $10 million for corporations breaking the law. That's in line with 10 recommendations the provincial auditor made 2 years ago, but the Minister of Agriculture says the Farmland Security Board has already put them all into action.
Farmland Security Board has all the tools that they need, including the declaration and the signing that you have to sign off on. And so I'm comfortable in that.
Saskatchewan rural municipalities feel current backstops are adequate.
There's always a loophole for some people to get through, but I think the auditor has done a good job of trying to police that and prevent it. And I don't think, personally, I don't have a concern with it.
We're open to changes if they feel it's going to improve the plan. I think the declaration and the recommendations and the changes we made that the provincial auditor had asked for, we implemented as quickly as we could, and we landed in a good spot.
The NDP presenting a private member's bill to amend the Farmland Security Board's enforcement powers, a motion Merritt says is unlikely to receive the support of the government in order to pass. Donovan May, CTV News, Regina.
On Monday, the province provided a bit of a preview on how they will tackle wait times and improve access to health care across Saskatchewan. It has workers in the healthcare industry, including nurse practitioners, wondering what this will mean for them going forward. Keenan Sorkon has the latest.
Healthcare workers across a number of different sectors are waiting to see how the patient-first healthcare plan will change their jobs.
It's kind of something that we've been advocating for, asking for, and we're really excited to see that our province is listening.
The patient-first healthcare plan is aiming to give everyone access to the care they need. And a big part of that plan is opening up the scope for some to do more work in more places. Nurse practitioners will be seen in emergency rooms and urgent care centers as the cornerstone of getting more people seen more frequently.
Basically anything that you would be going to see, your GP for, a nurse practitioner is able to do. We need more healthcare professionals. We need more physicians to kind of accomplish this plan.
The province has made 100 training spots available for nurse practitioners, a number that has almost doubled in 4 years. Another person you might see a little more of is a pharmacist.
We're really happy that they're looking at expanding our scope of work that we do, we're trained to do, but allowed to do, because I think the impact is quite significant.
Pharmacists will be able to prescribe and assist with minor ailments like strep throat and ear infections to take more people out of waiting rooms during cold and flu season.
Which actually allows the testing to be done at the site in the pharmacy, and you can find out whether you have strep throat in like 7 minutes, as opposed to going to the lab.
And the province doesn't plan on stopping there.
We're looking to expand scope with dietitians, optometrists, potentially chiropractors, nurses. So we're going to have conversations with all of those regulatory bodies.
But not everyone appreciates the extra work. Olivia Bolton is a continuing care assistant and can't see how these plans prevent burnout or retain workers.
Yesterday alone, we had 9 people on overtime that were working double shifts because they didn't want to see the patients go without.
Jobs across healthcare are in for some changes, but specifics on how this will be accomplished and how much it will cost will have to wait until the province releases its budget next week. Keenan Sorakan, CTV News, Saskatoon.
Delegates from all over the province are in Regina this week for the Saskatchewan Association of Rural Municipalities Convention. Now, the convention started with opening remarks this afternoon and will continue tomorrow with an address from Premier Scott Moe and what's known as the Bear Pit session. That's where the entire provincial cabinet is available to answer questions from SARM members. Several key issues facing rural Saskatchewan are set for discussion during the conference, including the rising cost of fuel recently driven back up by the conflict in Iran.
We've seen price of gasoline at the pumps rise 20 to 30 cents a litre already in the last couple of weeks, and it certainly is a concern. And fuel prices on our farms today is huge because our big farm equipment requires a lot of fuel to power it, and so it's certainly concerning and also affecting the exports and movement of our commodities too.
The price of diesel has also risen sharply, approaching the $1.90 per litre mark in Regina and about $1.76 in Saskatoon. Producers have a new option for addressing ongoing issues with elk herds when prevention methods aren't successful. The province will issue 8 permits that allow special targeted elk hunting on land with a demonstrated history of damages from congregating elk. There's no cost to producers for the permits, which can be used between mid-January and March of next year. They're valid for either the impacted producer or a single designated hunter and are not an open hunting opportunity. Now, the results of the first year will be used in future planning.
We know those numbers are high. We've heard from our colleagues, we've heard from municipal leaders that, there's herds of 300 and 400 out there. And, we know of cattle ranchers that are rolling out bales and the elk are there. It's almost 1-to-1. And so obviously it's a challenge. So we know where those areas are. We'll work with our crop insurance folks and the producers will make their application and we'll put the tags out through our regional offices.
The Saskatchewan Wildlife Federation said in a release the approach is a stopgap solution that doesn't address the root cause of the issue. They caution the province and how the tags are awarded to prevent privatization of wildlife resources and encourage other prevention methods along with better access for all hunters. Connor Chan joins us with our first look at weather tonight, and not a bad day, Connor. I know the temperatures weren't like hot, but there was a moment this afternoon where that sun came out and you could really feel the heat from it.
Yeah, it definitely felt warmer than it did. I know when I walked in today, I felt boiling hot compared to being outside for like just 2 minutes or so. Yeah, it was definitely a bit of a kind of a little bit of above seasonal day for some parts of the province. And for us here, we did get to that high of -2. The warmest is what we did get to. So not too bad. Bit of a mild minus day across parts of the province. And like I said, -2 for us here in Regina. -7 was our daytime low. Looking at the radar map, though, we are going to be starting to see a little bit more scattered flurries kind of make its way towards us in the next couple of hours in some areas in Saskatoon and central parts of the province as well. And you can see on the board here, a little bit colder up north, and then of course down low in the south. It's pretty mild for the most part, but I'll have the full details for you in the full forecast coming up later on. Lee?
All right, thank you, Connor. Day 7 of the Dylan Whitehawk murder trial, a Court of King's Bench in Regina. Today, witness testimony focused on gang connections to the case. Mick Favel was in court and has the details.
The 12-person jury overseeing the Dylan Whitehawk double murder trial heard testimony from someone close to the Indian Mafia street gang in 2019. Whitehawk is facing 2 first-degree murder charges in the deaths of Keenan Toto and Jordan Denton. The witness, who cannot be named due to a publication ban, said Whitehawk shared details of his involvement in the shooting deaths of Toto and Denton. According to the witness, Whitehawk said he shot them because they were from other gangs, adding wearing red was also a tactic to bring whomever closer to the car and thinking the occupants may be someone else. The witness said an SKS rifle and a Ruger rifle were used in the murders, and they were purchased at Cabela's in Regina. According to testimony, both the witness and Whitehawk were there when they were purchased, along with other IM members. And because of the 2 murders, Whitehawk moved up in the gang. An expert witness shared testimony on Regina gangs and said during the time of the murders, the IM were at war with the Native Syndicate Killers, a gang that was known to wear red. There are 2 more witnesses left to testify as court resumes on Wednesday. Mick Favel, CTV News, Regina.
The future of inland fishing in northern Saskatchewan is in the spotlight. Some Saskatchewan cooperative fishers gathered to talk about what's expected to be some significant changes in the next few years. Jasmine Pelche explains.
The federally owned Freshwater Fish Marketing Corporation, established by the government to market freshwater fish from inland Canada, is heading toward privatization. First Nations and Métis partners from Saskatchewan and Manitoba have placed a bid for the company.
I represent 12 communities as well as the whitefish fleet. And we produce a lot of fish off that lake. And today I'm here with to meet with the commercial fishers and the leaders from Saskatchewan in relation to the work we're doing.
Saskatchewan Cooperative Fishers says the industry is vital to culture and economy in the north, and the fishermen should have a voice when it comes to the market.
We care because that's our livelihood. That's how we were raised. So that's the whole thing that's happening here. They're going to be, there's a technical committee that's going to be explaining what we've done so far, where things are at, so that the fishermen hear, and we'll get input from them as well. But that's our goal, is to make an efficient, productive company again.
While it's not yet a done deal, community leaders are hopeful that continued efforts will pay off.
New ideas that are coming out, rough fish for example, cat food, dog food, all these different things that can be available, because right now when I used to fish, and still some of the fishermen that are out there, there's a lot of fish being set aside and not taken into consideration as far as marketing.
Fisheries and Oceans Canada provided CTV News with a statement saying while a preferred bidder has been identified, discussions toward a potential final agreement remain ongoing and no outcomes can be confirmed at this stage. Jasmine Pelche, CTV News, Prince Albert.
Well, the town of Waka might be a small community, but it's growing thanks to an increase in local businesses. And as Laura Woodward tells us, a majority of the entrepreneurs setting up shop are women.
Treatment room, and in here we do our facials.
When Rhonda Cochet opened her salon 24 years ago, much of Waka's main street sat empty.
There wasn't a lot. We have been growing, and these girls are coming in and taking hold and running with it, and it's flourishing.
Female entrepreneurs are shaping Waka's business scene, bolstering the lake town, preparing for the summer rush.
I feel like it's 80% of female-run businesses. It's definitely majority.
When Kimberly Cooper, owner of Four Wheel Fitness, moved to Waka, she quickly noticed the vibrance of the local businesses.
And it's all these really awesome females that start their own businesses. So I just noticed that and admired them and recognized that this little community of Waka has a really great thing going on.
From Saunders Salon, Espresso Cafe, and Cornerstone Care Home, women are stepping up to fill gaps in the community.
I started nursing in long-term care. We realized in our community of Waka we were lacking a home for level 1 and 2.
So Jessica Cole and her husband built this care home.
We've been full since 3 months of opening in 2020 and currently have quite a wait list.
4 years ago, Taylor Hubert also took a leap of faith, buying the town's gift shop. The store has since evolved to sell everything from clothes and games to candles she makes herself.
You guys, I made one now called The Perfect Man.
Oh my God, can I have a case?
Yeah. Rising tides float all boats, right? So the busier I am, the busier the cafe is, the busier the salons are, the busier the care homes are, the busier everything is. And I think it's just a really beautiful snowball effect. And we all lift each other and we all know our roles and we're like, let's do things for the town and the community and in ways that make a difference.
Laura Woodward, CTV News, Waka.
And this morning, we here at CTV had a chance to honor a woman making a difference in the community with the CTV Regina Citizen of the Year Award. Ruth Brolard has a teaching career spanning more than 50 years, she was getting to 60 years basically, working in high schools and for adult literacy programs from Saskatchewan all the way to Oregon. She also volunteered for many, many worthwhile causes. She was named the 2025 Regina Citizen of the Year on New Year's Eve and officially received the honor this morning.
It's fabulous. You know, I think it is well-deserved. I think when I look at the nominees and award winners over the course of the years, I believe Ruth fits right in there as well.
It's gratifying to be recognized for volunteer work because we need volunteers. There's so many needs.
Now, this marks the 23rd year CTV Regina has named a Citizen of the Year. Nominations for the 2026 award open in November. The family of one of the Tumbler Ridge mass shooting victims is suing OpenAI, and the Prime Minister is questioned over his stance on the war in Iran.
Tomorrow.
That's the smoking gun.
Video that shows criminals faking crashes for insurance money.
More of the challenges that we're facing is that they're getting very sophisticated.
An inside look at the fight against the fraudsters driving up your premiums. W5 investigates tomorrow on CTV National News and ctvnews.ca.
Greetings, everyone. Margaret Harrison is one of the few remaining Métis who continue to make hooked rag rugs. Growing up in the Katepa Lake Road Allowance community, Harrison recalls her mother and grandmother making the rugs, with one now being made at the Royal Saskatchewan Museum. CTV's Regina brings us the story.
A Métis artist is keeping her people's history alive through hand-woven rugs.
Mother did this in the valley years and years ago when she did trading, and she would go and do butchering and stuff for the farmers.
At the butchering, she would receive wool to turn into rugs.
She made her rugs at night when everybody was in bed by the fire and the cola lamp, on the table.
Margaret has preserved her mother's trade to this day.
Well, I always told her that I would carry this on as long as I could, and I think she would be delighted.
She uses the same shank her mother started with.
Mind you, she started with a nail that my dad made for her, and he filed it down and put a piece of wood on the end of it, and that was what she used.
Her designs come from the Capel Valley where she grew up, brought to life through rug hooking.
And we're doing the border in that form, which is thrifty materials like T-shirts, sweaters, and whatever wool fabrics we can find as we thrift. And we're thrifters, we're recyclers.
She is now working on a large project on site at the Royal Saskatchewan Museum, hoping to bring community members together through workshops.
We're partners in this world, and we need to recognize one another more and enjoy one another's cultures. And I think sometimes we forget that.
Saskatchewan's Culture Minister Alana Ross also contributed to the large-scale rug, which will be on permanent display at the museum.
What an honor. It really is, and I'm so unskilled at anything like that, and to be able to participate, I'm just thrilled.
Weaving the past into the present to ensure cultural tradition lives on for generations to come. For Indigenous Circle, I'm Regina Pats.
If you have a story you would like to see in this segment, here's how to reach us. You can contact me by email, and you can also watch past episodes and segments of Indigenous Circle on our CTV Regina and CTV Saskatoon websites.
Indigenous Circle, brought to you in part by Saskatchewan Indigenous Enterprise Foundation, growing the First Nation entrepreneurial spirit.
The family of a 12-year-old girl critically injured in the Tumbler Ridge shooting has filed a civil lawsuit against artificial intelligence platform OpenAI. Maya Gubala remains in hospital with serious injuries after being shot multiple times on that day. The lawsuit alleges OpenAI had knowledge of the shooter using ChatGPT to plan a mass casualty event. The tech giant admitted to police after an 18-year-old killed 8 people in February that the killer's ChatGPT account had been shut down months earlier, but the shooter got around the ban by using a second account. The CEO of OpenAI, Sam Altman, has promised an apology, but has not delivered on that promise yet. They did, though, release a statement today, OpenAI, saying that what happened in Tumbler Ridge was an unspeakable tragedy, adding that OpenAI is committed to working to make meaningful changes to prevent tragedies like this in the future. There are conflicting messages about when the war in Iran will end. U.S. President Donald Trump warned Iran not to interfere with international oil shipments, now saying he expects the fighting to end very soon. Joy Malbin has more.
The Pentagon with new video bombing Iran's missile launchers and destroying their ammunition stockpiles. A fresh round of attacks. The U.S. says it has hit more than 5,000 targets, including 50 vessels.
Today will be, yet again, our most intense day of strikes inside Iran. The most fighters, the most bombers. On the other hand, the last 24 hours have seen Iran fire the lowest number of missiles.
Secretary of War Pete Hegseth says Iran is badly losing and there will be no let-up. This as the Trump administration is sending mixed messages when the conflict will end. The president suggested the war's goals were pretty much complete, telling Republicans,
I think you'll see it's going to be a short-term excursion. How good is our military, right?
Trading threats on social media, Trump told Fox News he's not happy with Iran's new supreme leader, a hardline cleric and son of the assassinated Ayatollah Khamenei, saying, I don't believe he can live in peace. Iran's security chief shot back, warning the U.S. president, be careful not to get eliminated yourself. This after Trump threatened to rain fire and fury on Iran, warning the regime against stopping the world's flow of oil through the Strait of Hormuz, now at a standstill and sending gas prices soaring. But the White House insists that won't last long.
U.S. military is drawing up additional options following the president's directive to continue keeping the Strait of Hormuz open. I will not broadcast what those options look like, but just know the president is not afraid to use them.
So when will it all end? The White House and Secretary of War both say that's up to President Trump to determine when Iran is no longer a direct threat to America. Joy Malbin, CTV News, Washington.
Well, the Prime Minister wasn't expected to be in question period today, but his schedule changed this morning after being criticized for not participating in last night's debate on Iran. And it gave opposition leaders a chance to grill the Prime Minister over Canada's seemingly shifting position in this conflict. CTV's Mike Lecouture has more.
His appearance at Question Period was a last-minute addition to his schedule, and after a week of shifting narratives around the war in the Middle East, the Prime Minister looked to clarify Canada's stance.
Le Canada soutient la nécessité.
Mark Carney said Canada opposes Iran's development of nuclear weapons and the regime's exporting of terrorism. The Prime Minister also said Canada will not participate in the American military offensive in the region. But the leader of the Bloc Québécois wants to know if Carney also asked allies if they're all on the same page.
As long as we act on our separate paths, we don't have the leverage to force United States into themselves a more current position because we don't know what the President of the United States wants.
Je viens d'avoir une conversation avec le président du G7, Monsieur Macron.
Carney said he had conversations with leaders from France, Japan, and the U.S., but wouldn't give any more details. The Conservatives have criticized Carney's stance on Iran, saying it's been shifting over the past week. While Poilievre says he stood by the Prime Minister's original support for the strikes on Iran to take down the regime, he's unequivocal about the Supreme Leader's successor.
You're talking with the son?
The son, yeah.
No, this is a terrorist. We stand with the Iranian people for democracy. We stand against the Iranian theocratic dictatorship that has attacked our country.
Prime Minister Carney says he plans to speak with other G7 leaders this week, and he says they're all united in calling for a de-escalation in the Middle East. Michael Couture, CTV News, Ottawa.
Coming up, celebrating 80 years of drama at the University of Saskatchewan.
Being described as a bold new healthcare strategy. Wednesday on Your Morning, we are in conversation with the health minister on Saskatchewan's new path forward.
All right, welcome back. Time to take a look at your full forecast. Right now, it is a little bit of a warmer day. It kind of felt that way. It was a bit of a misdirection almost. We were still in the minuses, but of course in that peak pouring in the afternoon, we did reach our warmest of the day at -2 there. But for right now, we're also sitting just a little degree colder right now as we take a look at the current temperature right now in Regina, -3 with calmer winds coming in from the east at 13 kilometers an hour. Looking at the satellite radar map, we are expecting to see a little bit more scattered flurries make its way into parts of southern Saskatchewan. So areas like Moose Jaw and of course parts of Regina are also going to see some scattered flurries in the next couple of hours or so, along with areas just south of the Saskatoon areas as well. As we take a look to the weather tracker as we get into around that 10 p.m. mark. So yeah, we are expected to see a little bit of flurries there, as you can see from the purple stuff on your screen there. As we move ahead into Wednesday here, we are going to see a little bit some cloud coverage, a little bit scattered clouds throughout the day, but nothing too major yet. That's going to come in just a moment here. As we take a look there, Thursday, this is where lots of activity is going to be happening. Lots of precipitation, lots of snow expected there for a lot of swift current here down southwest in Maple Creek and areas in Assiniboia, including in Moose Jaw as well, and Regina, and then also parts of Estevan are going to see some snow, and that's going to also carry more eastbound, and then Estevan's going to see a good amount of it more around that 1 o'clock mark. So it's not going to last too long. It's only going to be a couple of hours on that Thursday where we will see some of those scattered flurries, and then by the time we get around Friday morning and late around that 3 a.m. mark, we are going to see some cloud coverage, and then we'll also still see a little bit more snowfall there for just kind of south of Maple Creek. Now here's a look at how much snow we could get. So we are, as we jump ahead into around that Thursday 9:30 a.m. mark. Yeah, so some areas are going to see some double digits, swift current at 11, Assiniboia with 12 centimeters, Maple Creek expect to see 5 by that time, and 7 for the Weyburn areas. And then for us here in Regina, we could see about 3 centimeters by 3 o'clock on Friday, 4 centimeters for Moose Jaw, and then 15 centimeters for Swift Current. So a lot of the south areas and south central areas will see a little bit more snow, and also parts of southeast as well in those Estevan areas. Now, looking at some temperatures overnight and into tomorrow, we are going to see some snow up in the Loche for tomorrow at -5, -4 for Laurens. We'll see some cloud coverage there. -1 in Lloydminster tomorrow, -21 overnight in Prince Albert. It's a little bit cooler before it warms up to -3 tomorrow for the daytime high. Going ahead into the central areas here, -1 in Saskatoon, -5 out in Yorkton tomorrow, with 2 degrees in North Battleford. So some areas are going to be a little bit warmer than others, and throughout the day here, especially in those overnights. So tomorrow, Maple Creek 6 degrees, mainly sun and cloud mixes. Same with Swift Current at warm degrees, or not warm degrees, 5 degrees. So it does feel a little bit warm there with those temperatures. 5 degrees also in Moose Jaw. So a little bit of some nice weather before we start to see that snowfall come for Thursday. And as we look ahead to some other areas here, Assiniboia tomorrow, 5 degrees, 4 in Weyburn, 3 degrees for Estevan. So lots of positive temperatures, which is a nice change of pace. We are going to see a little bit of a warm up, but and as I'll show in just a bit here, it might be the only day we'll see some warmer temperatures. -11 for us overnight tonight here in Regina, and then 0 will be our daytime high for tomorrow. And as we look ahead to the next 7 days, we are going to start to see that snow expected there, like I mentioned, on the Thursday with that high of -3. We are going to see a little bit higher winds as well, so lots of blowing snow expected there, so visibility might become an issue. -5 for Friday with some cloud coverage there. A little bit cooler this weekend compared to last weekend. -8 for Saturday, -7 for Sunday. We'll see a little bit more sun, and then we'll see more cloud coverage expected there for Monday at -5, and then 0 expected for Tuesday. And that's just kind of a tee up, Lee, because by the time we get to mid next week, we could be talking temperatures closer to 11 degrees, not -11, but 11 degrees.
So 0 degrees for St. Paddy's Day.
Yeah,
that'll be fun for everyone. All right, thanks, Connor. Well, the University of Saskatchewan is known for many of its academic departments, but did you know it had a drama department? As Carla Shinkaruk tells us, the department actually is celebrating 80 years, the oldest degree granting program of its kind, not only in Canada, but beyond.
The drama program at the U of S is celebrating 80 years. It's the first degree-granting theatre program in Canada and the entire British Commonwealth.
We were the first to sort of legitimize what it means to study theatre and performance and dramatic arts.
The program started in 1946. One of the first spaces used by students was actually an airplane hangar on campus.
Across Canada, there's lots of different theatre programs, but to think about that here in the prairies, we were the very first. That's huge.
That first production at Greystone Theatre opened in March of that year, featuring Frances Hyland, often called the First Lady of Canadian Theatre. The program has also produced well-known alumni like Kim Coates from the TV show Sons of Anarchy and Eric Peterson from Corner Gas. Many others have gone on to work in the industry.
The university is very, very important and integral and well connected to Shakespeare on the Saskatchewan, to Persephone Theatre, to 25th.
Brandon, now head of Shakespeare on the Saskatchewan, is also an alumnus of the program. He says anywhere from 2 to 20 students graduate here a year. The small class sizes help build connections that last well beyond graduation.
As a director, I've cast former students, but now they're my colleagues.
So to honor that big milestone, the next round of performances will showcase some of the talent that has gone through these doors.
And they put out a call for brand new plays, one-act plays by alumni. 5 former students have written original plays.
So as they mark 8 decades of theatre, they're also shedding light on accomplishments of those past and present who have been part of the program.
One wouldn't think that arts and culture would have started here 80 years ago.
And with a new generation of actors, writers and directors coming through the program, the next act for drama at the University of Saskatchewan is already underway. Carla Shinkaruk, CTV News, Saskatoon.
Ahead, can the Regina Pats avenge an 11-2 destruction at the hands of the Medicine-Hat Tigers? Regina Pats continue their Southern Alberta road swing tonight as they take on the Medicine-Hat Tigers.
Centering pass in front, great block. Rebound collected behind the net by Davidson. Centering pass scores.
Hopefully this game goes better than the last one when the Tigers trounced Regina 11-2. The Pats are 4 points up on Red Deer for 7th in the Eastern Conference, while the Tigers are 2 points back of Prince Albert for top spot in the conference, which means, hey, this could be a playoff preview. Puck drop is 7 o'clock. Final week of the SJHL regular season, and only the first-place Flin Flon Bombers have secured where they will finish in the standings. And tonight, 3 games, including Weyburn entertaining Melville.
Rebound. Schrader with a bit of room. Up to the point. Schrader, a shot. They score!
4 points out of second. Weyburn can finish anywhere from 2nd to 5th place in the league standings, while Melville can earn the 6th, 7th, or 8th seed heading into playoffs. The Mills lead the season series 4-3. Puck drop 7 o'clock at the Whitecap Resource Center. Saskatoon's new-look professional basketball team continues to take shape ahead of the CEBL regular season. The first coach of the Mamba shared his excitement to get things going in May. After developing players in the NBA's feeder system, Isaiah Fox is looking forward to the unique features of this league.
A lot of the players in this league basically come from the G League and other leagues overseas that are very similar in the style of play. But what the CEBL offers is this execution, particularly at the end of games, how they execute the target ending. I think it's going to be a challenge, and it's going to be fun to see how we can layer up our execution and get guys in our right spots. In terms of how we finish games. It's also a good challenge in terms of just development purely. It seems to be a sprint.
The Saskatoon Mamba begin play May 14th, SaskTel Center against the Vancouver Bandits. Still ahead, the conflict in Iran is causing fertilizer prices to skyrocket.
All right, welcome back. Time to take a look at your rural forecast right now. As you can see, pretty mild and warmish day in some parts. 4 degrees in Kindersley Outlook, -2 for Wynyard and Spiritwood, -1 for Lloydminster and Meadow Lake, and -5 in Melfort. Look in some other areas down south. Look at all those positive. That is a nice sight to see. 6 degrees in Conorack, 6 for Maple Creek along with Leader, 5 in Assiniboia, 4 degrees in Rosetown and Rockglen, and then a little bit cooler in Kenora there at -7. Now let's take a look at Ituna, where internet speeds up to 1 gig are available from SaskTel. -3 tomorrow with mainly sunny skies. Of course, Ituna did see a little bit of snowfall earlier this morning, and with the daytime high eventually of -6. So a little bit warmer tomorrow, as of course we are going to see that trend in parts of Saskatchewan before next week, where things will take hopefully a dramatic turn, where we'll start to see temperatures reach those double digits into the positives. But for right now, Ituna -3 for tomorrow.
New survey findings from Interact show nearly 8 in 10 Canadians believe AI is enabling fraudsters to create highly convincing scams faster than ever. It finds more scams are capitalizing on breaking news and current events, making it harder to determine what's real and what's fake. Respondents say they have experienced a tariff-related scam, including messages about packages being held or delayed, customs or import fees, or custom impersonation calls. A quarter of Canadians have noticed an increase in scam attempts that reference overdue bill notices, utility shutoff threats, and offers of government assistance. Well, the war in Iran is continuing to create chaos around the world. It's not just soaring oil prices that are making an impact, but fertilizer is seeing its prices skyrocket, which could have a significant impact on Canadian farmers. Alex Carpa has more.
This is our nitrogen fertilizer.
Fertilizer is an essential part of Kevin Peters' farm in southwestern Manitoba.
This bin will hold about 100 tons of nitrogen fertilizer.
Both his crops and livestock rely on it heavily. But since Israel and the U.S.'s attacks on Iran, the average price of nitrogen fertilizer has skyrocketed around 30% in the last week.
There's always some disruptions seeming to happen somewhere in the world that's changing our daily prices.
Roughly a third of the world's fertilizer shipments move through the Strait of Hormuz off southern Iran. With the vital shipping route effectively closed, economists say global prices are rising.
Fertilizer very important to our growers here, and especially at the time of year right when we're gearing up for planting season.
Anderson says the world's fertilizer supply was already under pressure before this war started.
This adds another layer of increased cost to their bottom line.
This price increase is yet another blow for farmers who have seen their input costs increase dramatically over the last few years. Jill Verwey with Manitoba's Keystone Agriculture Producers is desperate for the war to end soon.
If this drags out further, then it's going to have bigger impacts on availabilities, capacity for farmers to get that fertilizer on this spring.
Watching a deteriorating crisis for Peters has made staying optimistic difficult.
We're just cautious about overextending ourselves, and we want to be here producing food and producing livestock for the markets.
Experts warn the high cost of fertilizer and other goods are likely here to stay, even if the war in Iran were to end in a few weeks. Alex Carpa, CTV News, near Steinbach, Manitoba.
All right, let's take a look at the canola street price. It has dropped $7.10 to $649.13 per ton, while the futures price down $4.90 to $720.10 per ton. Amber durum wheat, no movement there, $278.59 per ton. Red spring wheat has jumped up $1.88 to $267.72 per ton. Feed barley stays the same, $232.01 per ton, while flax is $650.54 per ton. Those prices courtesy of Bunge. As for the TSX, it went up 81 points, while the Dow Jones went in the opposite direction. It dropped slightly by 34 points. How about that Canadian dollar? It went down very slightly, 0.02 of a cent to 73.64 cents U.S. On the commodity front, gold went up $53.45. West Texas Intermediate crude continues to drop after going close to $120 a barrel at the weekend. It is now down $8.23. It's sitting just over $86 a barrel. While Western Canadian Select crude is up $3.59. It has now jumped past $77 a barrel. So has that changed anything of the price of gas? Not yet. It will, but not yet. It's sitting at $1.49.9 cents per liter.
Oracle is a $430 billion company whose stock has plummeted over the past year. It needed some solid numbers, and it got them. Cloud revenue, key for the company. It came in at almost $9 billion U.S. for the latest quarter. That's up 44% from the same period last year. Investors are also focused on how much it's investing to build its AI infrastructure, since the company is taking on significant debt to do it. Oracle confirmed it's spending $50 billion U.S. for 2026. The price of oil dropped today on the U.S. president's prediction that the war on Iran will end soon. Oil spiked to close to $120 U.S. a barrel on Monday over supply concerns. It's been ping-ponging on every detail from the conflict, including a post from the U.S. Energy Secretary today saying the U.S. escorted an oil tanker through the Strait of Hormuz. That was later confirmed to be untrue. Those are your business headlines. I'm Marilla Fernandez.
Coming up tonight after the newscast, Will Trent at 7, followed by High Potential 8 o'clock. R.J. Decker, which we found out is about a photographer who's an ex-con who decided to become a private investigator and check out cases in Florida where he gets help by his ex-wife, who is a journalist, and his ex-wife's wife, who is a police officer.
I love how you're so into that.
Can't make that up. An annual tradition in the UK over the weekend.
This is the wife carrying race. The rules are simple. One partner carries the other as long as they weigh more than 50 kilos or 110 pounds. The team that makes it up and down the hill first wins. The grand prize, a barrel of ale, and the race is said to be inspired by a tradition in Finland. Now, if they had something in Regina and your wife asked you to do that, would you say yes?
Probably not.
Why?
It just seems like it'd be difficult. Plus, I mean, it makes sense that it came from Finland. Well, that's a different way of doing it. It makes sense that it came from Finland, because if you drop her, you're going to be finished.
Well, if you have it kind of like how you're doing a back squat, you'll be fine. It should be fine because you're more stable.
True. Might be difficult, though.
No.
Yeah.
Well, if you thought you saw something strange in the sky, you're not alone. More than 1,000 UFO sightings were reported across Canada last year.
Look at it, it's behind the tree. What is that?
I don't know what it is. According to the survey, More than 1,000 UFO reports. Most involve bright lights or unusual movement in the sky. Experts say many are later identified as satellites, aircraft, or drones, but every year, a small number of sightings remain unexplained.
My old boss used to be really into that, so he's probably thrilled about.
Really into UFOs, or what are they called now? Unidentified flying
objects.
No, it was something different. It's no longer into UFOs.
Who knows?
I like UFOs. Agent aliens?